Alright, yo, back in LA. Alright, back to fucking business. This is no more New York bullshit. Back to basics. This is my anonymous friend. UFC Fight Night. Cejudo versus Song Yadong. And yeah, let's go. Let's sweep this shit. First fight.
So Modestas Bukauskas versus Raffael Cerqueira.
All right, yeah. So Raffael Cerqueira, came in hot, undefeated, like so many, Stuart Nichols,
he got smoked by Ibo Aslan.
He was destroyed by Ibo Aslan in less than a minute. His undefeated streak is deceptive, given that his opponents are basically 0-1s.
Right.
That's after fighting him, by the way.
Whereas Bukauskas is like a proven UFC veteran.
I mean, he's had 4 fights, but he started training with Tom Aspinall in between.
He has 8 fights in the UFC. He had a little stint in cage.
Oh yeah. True. That's and it's kind of a Yusuf Zalal thing with that, where it's like he came back, better, but him training with Tom Aspinall says a lot. He his the Marcin Prognow fight.
He seems to be doing better now, right? He's just shown improvement.
Dude, especially in the last fight, dude. Like, he locked up a goddamn arm triangle on the wrong side and still got, and Marcin Prognow, who is no joke, tapped.
Right.
He's very adaptable, and his opponent in this fight is none of those things and even less.
Okay, so we got Bukauskas. What about Nursulton Ruziboev or McConico, who's making his debut in the UFC?
I'm gonna pretend like this isn't take 2 of these 2. Alright. Ruziboev is one of my favorite prospects in the UFC, to be honest. And he's an animal. He's 31 years old. He's
a giant. He's a huge guy.
Yeah, 6'5" at middleweight. Which, by the way, the Buckley loss, I do attribute a lot of that to him cutting down to 170, which he never should have done. He took all the strength out of his body. But he's fought how many times? I can't do math for shit. 45 professional fights at 31 years old. Against nothing opponents. He's, and then, he comes into the UFC and knocks out Cedric Dumas in the first round. Okay, it's like, as he should. Knocks out Bruno Ferreira in the first round. Bruno Ferreira knocks people out in the first round. And that was Ferreira's only loss until recently. But, I think...
he's the guy that knocked out Gregory Rodriguez.
He is. That's right. And I think that Ruziboev has insane potential. I think about Eric McConico pretty much the opposite. McConico is coming off tough enough. He had the one LFA fight, which was kind of an unimpressive decision win. I was looking at the 3 tough enough fights, like watching them back, and honestly, bro, so his last, this rear naked chokes.
I've never even heard of that promotion. Tough enough?
You haven't? It's not a great one, to be honest. Enough. Yeah, it's pretty.
That's a new one. That's learn something new every day.
Yeah, it's This guy, so he fought this guy Jerome.
So what's the deal with this? Is he like a short notice replacement or something? Or? How's he coming straight from Tough Enough to?
I don't know, but what I do know is that his rear naked choke first round submission win that he's coming off of into the UFC against Ruziboev was against an 0-5 opponent.
Oh yeah.
And and that makes me.
That's crazy. He's only minus 300 against him.
Well, I mean, betting lines can be deceiving, dude. Odds makers like to
seems like a lot.
Tempt the masses. It is.
All right. What about Austin Vanderford or Veretennikov? What is it? Oh, Nikolay Veretennikov.
Yeah. So they added this fight late. I think Only Veretennikov has fought in the UFC before, and he lost to Danny Barlow, split decision, close fight. I'm not gonna call it a robbery, but what I am gonna say is that Vanderford
Barlow was above weight for that too.
Yeah, he was. Vanderford, he was in Bellator for a while, losing. He did fight for the belt, got knocked out in the first round in Bellator. That was 2022. I think he had one more first round knockout loss before Bellator ceased to exist, and then he's had one LFA fight since. 2 years later, last October, where what is that?
Never mind, just keep going.
No, what?
Bellator didn't end in 20. Bellator is still going after 20.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, his Bellator career ended when he lost. He lost the title shot. He went to LFA 2 years later, right? Gets a first round knockout over this dude, Luis Victor Romero, who is an 0-1 opponent going in.
Wow.
Right? Sleeps him in the first round, as like is to be expected, right? And then now he's fighting in the UFC against
huge opportunity
against a guy who's in his debut took Danny Barlow to a split decision.
Yeah, so
Veretennikov is absolutely. See, this is why I don't look at betting lines. Like, so I'm looking at minus 110, for both of them.
That's crazy.
I mean, that'll probably change one way or another.
No, this says that Veretennikov is minus 160. But...
Oh, really? Well, I mean,
but he's a lock, probably, right?
I'm not gonna lock Veretennikov. I'm locking Ruziboev, for sure.
Okay, what about Ricky Simone or Javid Basharat?
Okay, speaking of locks,
you going with Basharat's a lock?
Basharat, I mean, probably, dude. Ricky Simone. I mean, look, as much as I love
this is the Basharat that is not undefeated.
I mean, he's got one loss against Zahabi, yeah. And
Zahabi's a good.
Zahabi's a good fight. He's got
37. Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, he lost to Zahabi. Okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? Like, Ricky Simone, I never thought Ricky Simone was that good, but he's been on a negative trend, like a deeply, deeply negative trend lately.
The only thing I would say about him is he's lost to really good people, like Vinicius Oliveira.
My boy Vinicius Oliveira. Mario
Batista and Song Yadong. All top.
I mean, Vinicius Oliveira, although people don't know it yet, is the pick of the litter of those, and Yadong.
And Mario Batista.
I did pick Mario Batista to beat out though, and he.
Watch out for him, man.
I mean, well, maybe. I mean, we'll see.
He's got
but Ricky Simone, it's like, who's he won against? Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I mean, he submitted Jack Shore, right?
Kelleher.
Was a long, Kelleher. Frank Kelleher. Jack Shore is probably his most impressive win recently. I mean, except for Merab a long, long time ago.
What?
He submitted Merab.
He beat Merab.
Submitted Merab. Yeah, you don't remember? You don't know that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Man.
It was Merab's like only UFC
was
loss.
Before Merab started jogging or whatever.
No, it's that rite of passage thing. It happened to Islam, happened to Pavlovich, happened to Carlos Ulberg. First, second fight in the UFC.
Yeah. Okay, so you got Basharat.
I do have Basharat.
What about Nick Klein or Mansur Abdul-Malik?
This one is definitely hard because
I thought you were a big fan of Abdul-Malik.
I'm absolutely joking, dude. Absolutely, this might be the biggest lock on the card. Of course, Malik is.
Watch him lose, though.
Watch him lose.
No, I'm just kidding.
Down the road, maybe, not to Nick Klein, bro. Like, okay, so Mansur Abdul-Malik, like, this dude, is, I mean, he's had, he came in off a Contender Series knockout. Slept this dude, Todorovic from Serbia.
Look at the serratus on this guy.
Huh?
Look at the serratus on this guy. He's fucking yoked.
Who is that, Nick Klein?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this shit's not gonna help him in the fucking octagon against Mansur.
Yeah, probably not. All right.
So yeah, his first, his opponent in his first UFC fight, first round knockout. Not the greatest of opponents, but not the worst either.
Todorovic.
Yeah. Now the thing is who is Nick Klein, right? Like, Nick Klein had a very fast actually, first round submission off the Contender Series. His opponent was this guy, the fuck was his name? Geraldo Souza. And and Geraldo Souza, it's like he was 9-1. But he was fighting in these, like, in a very obscure South American promotion. And let's see, Nick Klein, he's been knocked out. He was knocked out in a BTC Challenger Series fight against the guy who was 0-1 going in. So an 0-1 opponent slept him. He himself is 6-1. Like, the thing about guys like this, dude, I mean, it's like him and McConico both, it's like, I don't know, and even like Austin Vanderford had a Contender Series fight, but like,
so did Nick Klein. He won his.
He did win his Contender Series fight. It's just like,
this other guy.
He just doesn't. I mean, his Contender Series fight was a submission win. My guess is that they're putting him up against Malik because he's a grappler. I mean, or he's like that. Basically, he's coming in represented as a grappler because of his Contender Series win, which was not unimpressive, but.
Right.
He's gonna get slumped, bro. He's gonna get just trucked through.
All right. What about Andre Fili or Melquizael Costa?
I believe it's pronounced Melquizael, or as my good friend Matua put it, Quetzalcoatl Costa.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, like the winged serpent.
This is a guy with a skin condition.
Yes, he does have a skin condition. And, like, if you want to know what kind of condition his skin condition is in, look up vitiligo. But the rage and emptiness and alienation from that is not going to help him against Andre Fili, I don't think. Although this is not the easiest one. Now Fili did not make it easy for me to sweep UFC 303. In the Cub Swanson fight, but he was slept by Dan Ige. The thing about Andre Fili though, up against Costa, is that Costa trying to submit him, it's just not gonna happen. I don't think. I mean, he basically, so Andre Fili, he was submitted by Max Holloway in 2014. He was submitted one other time in 2015 in the UFC by this dude, Godofredo Pepe, who what the fuck is this guy up to now? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Fili's takedown defense is very good, actually. And I think that he knows that Costa is gonna, try to lock something up. Now on Costa's end, I think that Costa, watching the Cub Swanson fight, is gonna assume that, especially watching, the Dan Ige fight, I think, because Costa in regional promotions has knocked people out. I think Costa is, like, gonna assume that, like, he's gonna be able to outstrike.
Yeah.
Fili, and that's just not gonna happen.
Isn't Fili a pretty good boxer?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Costa kind of fancies himself like, a decent enough striker that he could take Fili out that way. Should he, start shooting takedowns, I think Fili's gonna be able to defend against them.
All right.
And Fili, he does need this win. I think, I just don't see it for Costa. I think it's going to be Fili.
All right, man. What about, we got Jan Cutelaba or Ibo Aslan?
All right. So, all right. For this, slow down the pace for a second. Now, this actually requires a little bit of examination. So,
all right.
Just because Ibo Aslan, right? Ibo Aslan is, how do I put this?
He's a steroid guy. He's got freaking gyno like a
gyno. He had
huge traps. And
he had competitive gyno in his debut.
What do you mean by competitive?
Competitive gyno is in he gave
soft, fleshy.
Meaty breasts. He gave Dante Almeida a run for his money, dude. Or, retroactively, I guess, because Dante Almeida fought more recently.
Parker Porter.
Dude, Mase was looking. Mase was
gyno.
Mase was, he clocked in at 266 with some fucking C cups, bro.
Yeah, that could just be because he's so fucking fat. Because Ibo Aslan is like a specimen, but he's got whatever. If he's on steroids, that's an advantage.
He's taking a turn for regardless, dude. Ibo Aslan he seems to be improving with each fight. He had, if you don't,
unless that guy he just beat is just garbage, which we'll find out in the first fight.
He's fighting Aslan, and he's fighting Bukauskas. But the thing about Aslan, right, is he came in that fight with that
Turkali, that was a close one.
The pleasure, man. That's what he calls it.
It's a weird name.
Yeah, it really is.
For a fighter.
Remember Tyson Pedro knocked him out in the first round? Pedro was not having it. He fucking said, he's like, I'm gonna.
But Ibo Aslan was banging it out with that guy until round 3.
Well, yeah, they had that was a rematch actually, and Turkali had beaten him.
Yeah.
And that plus how fast he won his second UFC fight. He just looks. He looks.
Yeah, but we don't know if that guy. Maybe that guy Cerqueira is not.
Yeah. My point though is he looks to be improving with each fight. Now Ian Cutelaba, honestly, he eked out a split decision in his last fight, but Ian Cutelaba seems to be the opposite, bro. He's a guy that despite being only 31 years old, he knocked out Tanner Bosser, but he lost to Felipe Lins, which is just abysmal. Back-to-back submission losses to Johnny Walker and Ryan Spahn, both in the first round. His wins are against guys that are fighting in GFL right now, pretty much.
Right, his career is
he fought Dustin Jacoby to a draw, but that was after back-to-back first-round knockout losses to Ankalaev. People argue that the first one was an early stoppage, so they fought a second time, and once again, first-round knockout. He did beat Khalil Roundtree in 2019, first round. He was submitted by Glover Teixeira. He's had a couple of impressive wins here and there. When Jared Cannonier did those couple of fights up at light heavyweight, Cannonier beat him.
Cannonier used to be a heavyweight, you know that?
Yeah. But at light heavyweight though, do you remember when Dominic Reyes slept Cannonier?
I don't remember.
That was Dominic Reyes in his prime, which made there maybe a second win for that shit. We'll see that when he fights Krylov. Anyway.
So you like Aslan?
Ibo Aslan, I think he's sloppy. He can tend to be sloppy.
He does have power.
He has a lot of power. He's in the ways that he's sloppy. I don't see I don't see Cutelaba being the guy to exploit that whatsoever. Cutelaba is also so chinnable, dude. It's he's almost fragile. I was and I had him against Ersan and he did win, but there were moments in that fight where I was just don't hit Cutelaba too hard.
Yeah, I get you. All right. So what about Alonzo Menifield or Julius Walker?
All right. So this fight, I've been as people know, I've been deliberating over a bit because Julius Walker is no joke. He's also 12 years younger at 25. Menifield is coming off of 2 knockout losses now.
I didn't know he was so old, man. 37.
Well, so here's the thing, right? Julius Walker. Julius Walker. Yeah, well, you were telling me you're gonna take Jan over again. Jan's got 4 years on Menifield.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he has Polish power. So.
Yeah, he's a unique case.
He is. But Julius Walker is first of all, he's So he
265.
So look, so I watched back a bunch of Julius Walker's fights, right? And 3 fights back, right? He fought for a belt in Synergy Fight Club against this guy Niall Bartling, right? Now Niall Bartling, they were both undefeated going into this fight. Niall Bartling got submitted by Julius Walker in the second round. The first round, Walker, like the problems and the openings that Walker has, I believe are fully exposed in the first round of that fight. I think that Menifield.
What happened in the first round of that fight? I missed that one.
He left himself open to strikes. And his,
which you can't afford to do that against Menifield.
Exactly.
Menifield cracks.
Exactly, and I mean even Olberg understood that, instead of trying to go at Menifield first, that the thing to do is retreat and then turn around and Menifield, Walker has 4 inches on him, and I believe a 5-inch reach advantage, which, I've been talking to some people, they think that, that's going to allow Julius Walker to just, somehow just snipe, knockout shots at Menifield from range. What I think...
No, Menifield will close the distance.
Menifield will definitely close the distance. How I think Julius Walker, if Julius Walker is really smart about this, what he'll do is he'll try to engage in a clinch against Menifield and take it to the ground, where I do believe he is better, but I don't see him being able to avoid strikes from Menifield, who literally just barrels forward towards people.
Yeah, and he swings with a lot of fucking heat on his shots.
He does. I don't think I don't see Julius Walker being able to carry out a game plan against Alonzo Menifield in his first UFC fight.
That makes sense.
So
what about we're on Gene Silva versus Melsik Baghdasaryan.
As much as I want to pick Gene Silva, I'm going to, because I've been telling
yeah, you picked him a long time ago. You were picking him against Drew Dober and all that.
When I remember when Guru had Charles Jourdain beating Silva, and I was
oh yeah, even before
I spent good money on donations trying to get Guru to fucking understand, but
yeah, you did call him out before that even.
Yeah, and then it's no way he beats Drew Dober up a weight class.
Fighting nerd guys, they just fucking run.
They really are.
Everybody.
They really are. There's not. I mean, people think Mauricio Huffy is the weak link, but I say he beats Bobby.
Yeah.
Regardless, Gene Silva, dude, is not. I mean, Gene Silva's a prospect at featherweight for sure. I think he deserves a ranked opponent after this. Now Melsik is no joke too. I mean, and that's the thing. He basically the Dennis. I would say when I say he's no joke, and that's true. He beat Dennis Bajukta, which and Dennis Bajukta also he that was on the Contender Series. Comes into the UFC, opens with a fucking knockout win, continues to win. The thing that makes it obvious to me that Gene Silva, many things do, but Gene Silva is a really great striker. His jiu-jitsu is also fire. Josh Kulabau submitted Melsik in the second round of the first. It was on the first Volk versus.
So he's not been very active. What the hell? What's this?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Melsik has not fought since July 2023, which is almost a year and a half ago. But or no, yeah, right?
That's almost 2 years ago.
Almost 2 years ago. Fucking cool about submitting him is, that's a bad look. He and he came back from that. He beat Tucker Lutz by decision, which is rough considering Tucker Lutz is coming off a submission loss to Daniel
American
Pineda.
Wrestler.
Yeah, Gene Silva. Gene Silva. He's good everywhere. He doesn't let people survive. Like, you know,
he's got that finishing instinct.
He is very, very much not gonna let you. You know, he's not gonna leave it to the judges. I mean, you know, just ever. I mean, you know, he could be he could win by knockout. He could win by submission. You know, it's gonna be a finish. And Gene Silva's a maniac, bro. It's not even fair.
What do you think about Rob Font versus Gene Matsumoto?
So, it would be. So I'm taking Matsumoto, and this is the thing though. It would be more open and shut.
You're taking Matsumoto?
I am.
Wow. Okay.
You think Font's got him? You think Font's the guy to check? You think Font's gonna take that out?
Maybe.
So here's the thing. What Font did do is he beat Kyler Phillips, right?
Yeah.
He beat Kyler Phillips. You know, who got into the rankings off of, off of who? Pedro Munez or something?
Yeah, he fraud checked that Kyler Phillips pretty well. He handily beat him.
Yeah, he also knocked out Adrian Yanez. Now, Adrian Yanez is one of the most overrated fighters, in my opinion. Rob Font, you know, he likes fighting these catchweight 140 fights, like the main event against Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah.
You know, which Sandhagen won. Figueiredo's beat Font, and that was Figueiredo's debut at 145. So Font can't really hang at 145, but you know, I hate the term weight bully. I think that, you know, or just bully in general. I think it's a soft fucking phrase that gets thrown around.
The whole point of fighting is to bully somebody, right?
I mean, yeah, and you know, and just abuse them, you know, a la Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith, but yeah, Font, you know, anybody real Font loses to, and you know what I mean by real, you know,
like Davison Figueiredo,
Sandhagen, you know, Chito Vera, you know.
I don't know, man. These are high level guys. He's been in the
yeah.
With.
I mean, you know, he beat Cody Garbrandt by decision. He knocked out Marlon Moraes.
You think Matsumoto's ready for this level of?
I do actually. I do. I think he, you know, I think his grappling is just, you know, I just think it's better. I think he has more dynamic grappling. I know that Font's gonna try to make it a fucking wrestling match. You know, now Matsumoto, I mean, you know,
I feel like Font is gonna try to box him up.
I mean,
that's what he.
I mean,
that's kind of how he got Phillips, right?
I mean, but I mean, that was, you know, that was him doing the unexpected against a guy who was preparing for him to try to wrestle. John Matsumoto is a different kind of fighter. I mean, it's like, you know, he's had 2 UFC fights after the Contender Series. He submitted Dan Argueta, which is not, you know, I mean, that's nothing too special. The Brad Katona fight was his last fight, and let me remind myself really quick. So they gave, so I mean, it's 29-28. You know, they were.
He's a little nugget of a guy.
Yeah, Brad Katona's no joke either. The thing is, like, Matsumoto, you know, I mean, Katona got him down. He got him down 3 times. You know, I mean, Katona got the 1 round, just keeping the dude on the ground, basically. But you know, and that fight was close. It was close, but
I just don't know how. That's a big step up to go from Brad Katona to Rob Font.
It is. I mean, Brad Katona, though, if you think about it, dude,
I think Font's gonna fraud check this guy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, we'll see. I think Matsumoto's ready. I think that, and you know, and I think that the 140 catchweight nature of this fight, you know, which, you know, Font has thought would benefit him in the past, like against Sandhagen. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you know, he's because he's dealing with a guy who's, you know, at that, you know, low of a weight, who's 2 inches shorter. You know, he's gonna, you know, be able to hold on to some strength, like, you know, and. Yeah, and, you know, and it was originally, I mean, I had Font when this fight was Font versus Dominic Cruz, but Dominic Cruz, you know, decided to just retire instead.
Right, he's getting old.
Yeah, and maybe Matsumoto retires Font also, and goes 17-0.
Yeah, we'll see about that. So who do you got, Brendan Allen or Fluffy
I was telling you that Hernandez.
He's already beat him once.
He did in LFA, and you know, it was a decision, but it was pretty dominant by Hernandez. It was a long time ago though. Now since then, right? You know, Hernandez. Let me look at his early UFC career. He was early in his first UFC fight. Hernandez was submitted, whatever, rite of passage. Kevin Holland did knock him out too. Since then, he's been on a streak. He submitted Rodolfo Vieira. He submitted Marc-Andre Barrio. Nothing, you know, too crazy. Edmund Shabazian, who just got a first-round knockout over Dylan Budka, was slept by Anthony Hernandez, who, you know, deceptively good striker. He submitted Roman Kopylov.
He fucking beat the brakes off of him.
And then and then what he did to Michel Pereira was biblical.
Yeah,
it was
fucking beat him up
now,
so bad.
And this is what I think about that. This is how that so on Brendan Allen's end, dude. Like, you know, Brendan Allen, you know, he looked great against Paul Craig, who, you know, Paul Craig is kind of on the Ian Cutelaba train. Maybe to a lesser extent. Actually, no, to the same extent, let's be honest. You know, Brendan Allen submitted middleweight Bruno Silva, not to be confused with flyweight Bruno Silva, who just ate a dick against Manal Cop.
He got fucked up by Cop.
Yeah, he really did.
That was a sick performance.
So Christoph Yako, who Sean Strickland also beat, you know, Brendan Allen was, you know, people say Strickland doesn't finish people. Brendan Allen was wrestled to the ground and beaten into submission in the second round TKO by Sean Strickland.
Right.
You know, he was also knocked out by Chris Curtis. Now, his second to most recent fight was a rematch with Chris Curtis. 5 rounds. Almost all on the feet, you know, and a very narrow split decision, which probably would have gone to Curtis had it not been for the last, you know, maybe minute of the 5th round. I mean, you know, he's like the best he's looked was against Paul Craig, to be honest. And I mean, against
he did all right against Imavov.
Well, honestly, that was a 3-round fight. The first round, he lunged in, got the takedown, laid on him, and then Imavov spent the rest of the fight treating him like Buckley treated, you know, fucking, yeah.
It would look like Imavov was
hand on the head, like stopping takedowns, stopping anything. Just
Imavov actually out-grappled him in the second and third rounds.
Yeah.
I remember they were saying.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the thing is, the way that Hernandez, like, started every single round against Michel Pereira, except maybe the first, by just whoosh, like, had him against the cage. The fact, like, you know, I don't see Brendan Allen.
Yeah, I think Hernandez can out-grapple anybody other than Chimaev.
I mean,
I think he's really good.
Remains to be seen, but I think he beats Brendan Allen.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that, you know, there's
sure he's gonna win.
Yeah, it's more and more of a certainty as I think about it. And I mean, that's it.
What about Cejudo versus Song Yadong?
Main event. So this is a trickier fight than, you know, most people. Everybody wants shit to be open and shut. Everyone wants absolute certainty. Everyone wants to, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on Cejudo.
This guy just does this, he does that, and it's obvious. Yeah. So, and the reason not to sleep on Cejudo, it's like, yeah, Merab, you know, dog walked him and carried him around like a child, but, you know, that's Merab. Before that, he fought Sterling for the bantamweight belt at the time. Took him to a very close split decision.
Yeah.
You know, and that was after a 3-year fucking, you know, quote unquote retirement that he came back from. Where before that he was the champion and, you know, had a 3-fight knockout streak against Dominic Cruz. This is 2020. Dominic Cruz. The year before that, Marlon Morales and TJ Dillashaw, who he knocked out in 32 seconds. You know, and before that, he won the belt off of Demetrius Johnson in a pretty close split decision, but that's Demetrius Johnson, for fuck's sake.
Right.
You know, his Henry Cejudo his striking gets slept on a bit, I feel like. I think also, you know, like there's definitely there is a height thing that comes into play with this. You know, given Song Yudong has, you know, is 5'8", Cejudo's 5'4".
always shorter than his opponent.
I mean, except for Demetrius Johnson, who's 5'3". But you know, but the thing is, it's like, you know, Cejudo has, you know, I could see Cejudo trying to, you know, just consistently shoot takedowns on Yudong and making this, like, you know,
making it scrappy,
making
a lot of scrambles and all that.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's like,
that.
it's, you know, how is Song Yudong's takedown defense ready for, you know, like a poor man's Merab who's gonna shoot on you, you know, like a lot. Also, Song Yudong, right? Song Yudong is not his first 5-round fight for sure. He had back-to-back ones. He knocked out Ricky Simone. I think he broke Ricky Simone, to be honest.
That fight with Gutierrez was kind of a boring fight.
That's true. And, you know, and Gutierrez did make it competitive. You know, now Marlon Moraes, who Henry Cejudo also knocked out in the first round, Song Yudong did the same thing 2 years later.
Yeah.
The Peter Yan fight is what a lot of people who I know are taking Cejudo bring up. The thing about that is that Piotr Yan, because given Piotr Yan, you know, had to be sick of some bullshit. You know,
Piotr Yan's one of the all-time great fighters.
And you know, those split decision losses to O'Malley and Aljo. I mean, I think the O'Malley fight was a robbery.
Yeah.
I think Yudong won that. The Aljo fight, Yan won that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, there's a lot. You know, there's a lot to
Yeah. Anyway.
Notifications just came on my phone. Yeah. No, I think, like, it's hard to say. It's hard to say if, you know, Yudong. If Yudong.
It's stupid ass fucking name.
It's Yudong's song too. It's like, I don't know why they, like, you know, it's like Kong Wang Kong.
Because they put their family name first in China, where we put it second in America. So
I know, but so it should be Yudong.
So he calls himself Yudong Song.
Yeah, and it should.
We call him Song Yudong.
Yeah, it's like, why? It's like, why can't they? Yeah. It's like,
because he would name his children something Yudong.
No, he wouldn't. He would name.
Yeah, Yudong is his family name.
No, it's Song is his family name. Right?
No, because in America we call him Song Yudong, but in China they call him Yudong Song. Right? Maybe it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Piotr, you think he's gonna win?
I do.
But you're not super confident.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, like, you know, people. This is another fight that people want to lock one way or the other. But, like, it's not. I mean, you know, look. So I realize,
like kind of a toss up to me, man.
I mean, it's just like
I could see Cejudo winning just because.
Cejudo, if Cejudo wins, it's because he takes him to the ground.
Yeah, fuck it,
a bunch of times. But here's the thing, right? So you look at the fight.
I say Cejudo wins.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to factor in him being a bit washed at this point. But I
think Cejudo actually looked good against Merab. Like,
bro, he was.
I don't think he looked washed.
Bro, he was being like, his family had to have been embarrassed, bro. He was being carried around like a.
He actually cracked Merab and wobbled him in the first round, though.
Yeah, it started Marlon Moraes, and then he spent the second round getting fucking slapped.
But it's just there was a point in the second round where you could tell Cejudo just went out of breath and couldn't keep up anymore.
Yeah.
Song Yudong's not going to put that kind of a pace on him.
No, he's not necessarily.
But he might. But
stylistically, he's a lot different. I mean, dude, he was beating Yan. until he wasn't. But you know, that was a very competitive fight, way more so than people remember. I think. I rewatched.
Jan was styling on him,
Yeah.
doing that.
Dude, 29-28.
He hit him with a sweep. He was
That I mean, he adjusted. He adjusted
yeah.
really well, but like you know, he was being outstruck and kind of pushed around.
Yeah, Jan he always builds into the fight.
That's very true.
But anyway, so you got your dong.
I do, and I mean, it's a hard. It's like, you know, really think it's a hard fight to see in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty close from the call.
Yeah.
So,
way closer than the odds would have you believe, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Anyway, so.
So yeah. So I'm gonna take you down, and this is a good ass card, dude.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card.
It's a sick card.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
you gonna release your betting video advice?
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow or something.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get squirrely and release it, like release them back to back, just cause.
There you go.
Just be like, yo.
All right.
Back in LA, some fucking.
That's right. So.
Back to actually handicapping shit well.
All right.
Alright, sorry. My friend is dying of a sinus infection.
Yeah, I gotta go.
So yeah. So peace. Enjoy this card, and you know, Lane, get ready to pay me. Get ready to pay me. Just like that's it. Yeah. Seriously.
Right.
Like nothing cute. Just fork over that cash on fucking fight night.
Okay.
Peace.